Hey YouTube, it's Budget Bugout. I'm back from SHOT Show 2017. I had a great time getting to see not only new products, new gear, guns, knives, but also I met a lot of really cool people.
My name is Dave Canterbury here at the 2017 SHOT Show with Budget Bugout.
A lot of folks who work for these companies.
Thank you, Marty, for coming by. We just really like Budget Bugout. We want you to know out there that we enjoy your audience and appreciate the stopping by the booth and taking a look at the new products.
Hey Marty, thanks for coming by. A little overview for Budget Bugout,
which very well will fit in, I'm sure, with a lot of the Budget Bugout folks.
And I'm going to share some of my experience with y'all. I'm going to start off with guns, then move on to knives. I talk about multi-tools as well, and lastly I'm going to talk about flashlights and gear that I saw at the event. Talk about some things that I liked, some things I didn't like, as well as a little bit of behind the scenes look as well. Not to mention some things that are on the horizon.
And we'd love to do a giveaway with you sometime, so I would recommend to your audience that they stay tuned to Budget Bugout.
So if that interests you, stay tuned. If you guys want more of a shortened version of what I experienced, be sure you check out my list videos. I'll annotate them down below. They're like a minute 30 each, and I go over the different rundown of my favorite products, as well as check out my playlist if you want to know more information about the different booths that I was at. I did a video for each booth, so be sure you check that out, as well as stay tuned for more coverage that I'm still editing and I'll have uploaded here shortly. So let's go ahead and get started and just have a nice little walk through the woods. Hey YouTube, it's Budget Bugout, and I am in the great outdoors once again. I'm a big fan of the outdoors, hence my reviewing a lot of outdoor gear stuff. Sorry if I just made some of y'all dizzy, but I wanted to continue on. But what I want to talk about in this video is some of the products that I saw at SHOT Show. A lot of the stuff you might already seen, but I'm also going to focus on content that y'all haven't seen, so a little bit of behind the scenes stuff. Before I get too much into that stuff, I do want to say thank you for my sponsor ThruNite, and there's a reason why I'm saying it now. First off, because I'm very appreciative, and you guys, you've seen my videos on them. They do make budget-friendly flashlights. I was reviewing their stuff long before they became a sponsor for mine, and you know, I'll leave links for their stuff in the description box, you know, just to kind of as a way of saying thank you to the company for sending me to the event so that I could show you guys the coverage. I live, y'all know this, I'm active duty military, and I'm over here in Europe, and I can't just keep buying tickets back to the US without some sort of sponsorship. So I'm only going to work with companies that I like their products, I like them as people, etc., etc. So, but anyways, the reason why I mention ThruNite now and that I'm overseas over here in Europe is I'm active duty military. I get a question asked a lot. First off, swing by the ThruNite booth. How come you haven't swung by the ThruNite booth? They don't have a booth at SHOT Show. Just so you guys know, they don't have one yet. I don't know if that's going to be coming, but that's the answer to that question. But the answer to your, you know, what do you do in the military? I'm a veteran myself. You know, those types of comments. First off, I appreciate your service, but I'm just not going to publish that on the internet because of how large this channel has grown and will continue to grow, hopefully. I just don't want that information out there for OPSEC reasons, and I know you guys get that. You guys are just kind of thinking like, you know, that I'm just sending that message to you. And I meet you in person, you know, I'll tell you, you know, a little bit more about myself, but I'm just very careful about what I put online. Let's talk about guns. So there are 3 booths that I really liked at SHOT Show, and I have to make sure I mention the fact that SHOT Show is gigantic. I wasn't able to see everything, right? I can't see all the guns, I can't see all the knives, I can't see all the I can't see all of that, even though I did more than I've ever done before. This is my 3rd year going to the show. But the 3 that I liked, and please temper your opinions in professional manners in the comment section. I'm sorry I didn't go by your favorite knife company or your favorite caliber, etc. Just please temper that. But I liked, no specific order, I like the Smith & Wesson M&P 2.0, and I really like the grip on that. I like that it's still interchangeable, and I think there's even more variants of that grip now. I think there's one extra one, and I think the trigger is better, and etc. from my understanding and from people who've reviewed it. So I like that one. I like the Taurus Spectrum. I like the fact that there's no straight parts, no straight edges, no flat surfaces on the Spectrum, because their idea is your gun doesn't, your hand it doesn't have any flat surfaces either, right? So why does the gun? That's a good question. So I'm very curious to see how that does, and I think it's going to do quite well for them. And then lastly, I love Walther pistols, and I really love budget-friendly ones as well. And this one I think is MSRP like 400 bucks, and it's called the Creed, or actually it's called Creed. I think the next one they're going to roll out is known as the Rocky, and I think it's really going to be a showstopper, especially after maybe the second variant of it. And I'm just kidding, I'm making a Rocky joke. My jokes are really lame when my brain is frozen, but I like Walther pistols. My father-in-law shoot them a lot. He's got a collection of them, so I'm really looking forward to seeing how that does. I want to say I'm looking forward to shooting it myself, but I can't because I'm over here in beautiful Europe, and there's a reason why I don't mention even the country that I live in. I'm just trying to be as vague as possible. Moving on to one other gun related item. There's so much gun stuff at SHOT Show. Be sure you guys just check out other gun channels for more information. Don't get mad at me, just do your own research a little bit too. But last company is it makes gun oil, and you guys might think that's not very exciting, but there's a lot of good data that their company has from a second or third party rather data, that scientific data. Anyways, and I've also seen YouTubers like Hank Strange and stuff review their product, and now that I've met them and I've done a little bit of research myself, but the company is known as Rand CLP, and I think that's how you pronounce it. And if you guys are looking for another gun oil for your system, or maybe a replacement for the one that you have, I'm not being sponsored by them or any other company other than the one I mentioned, but I think that would be something that you'd probably think is worth your while. Apparently they're an up-and-coming company because they were at the event, at the up-and-coming section of the event, and they were getting a lot of foot traffic. I told the guy when I met him on the plane ride to Vegas that I'll go by your booth, etc., but I'm in Germany, and it's just difficult. It's not possible, but it's difficult to review gun stuff. And I told him I'd go by his booth. We talked for a long time. I got to know him. He's a great guy, and I just wasn't able to do a video. It was so frustrating. Wasn't able to do a video because it had so much other stuff that I had to cover, and I'm sure he understands, but I'm including in this video, and I'm also going to mention here in a second other companies that I wish I would have been able to go by and do videos on. Moving on to kind of knives and multi-tool companies. The two that I wanted to go by, but I wasn't able to for reasons that I'll disclose a little bit of it, but I don't want to get it really into miscommunications. I don't want to publish that too much on my YouTube channel because I don't want people to be like, why did you say something mean about us? But there are some miscommunications, some scheduling issues. As far as the best way to categorize Gerber and SOG, doesn't mean their products aren't good and not worth buying, that I won't be doing reviews of, and I'm sure I might recommend some of their products to y'all, but it was a little frustrating going over to companies where, and these guys were just some of them, but for there to be, I just don't want to go into it too much. I just hope that those companies can just see the appeal of using social media, like video version of social media, YouTubers. I hope they just are able to prioritize them a little bit more so than they have been. I think companies in general, they're just used to operating a certain way, and I just don't, I feel like I'm slamming some of their company, these guys' companies, but here's all I will say. I hope I don't get in trouble for this. If a YouTuber comes up to you and they have more subscribers than, you know, maybe other YouTubers or maybe magazines, and they're like, hey, I'd like to do a video with y'all, and if you say 5 times, just come back later, I'll get to you. First off, that's kind of frustrating. Second thing is, if you're just completely ignoring them, right? Here I am, oh, what's that? Oh, you needed, okay. And then you keep going back to your conversation. Or you see me come back and you ignore me and other YouTubers. It's not just me that had problems with some of these companies. Wrap up your conversation. I know I'm not the biggest fish in the sea, but a lot of my viewers, a lot of y'all want to know of, you know, the new products that are coming out. So talking, all right, oh, there's a YouTuber, there's someone who, you know, has had an appointment or is trying to talk with me because I told him to come back. Just say, hey man, I love to keep talking. Do you mind just holding off? I'm just going to do a video for like 5 minutes. I'll come right back and I'll wrap up with you. Or, hey, I got my card. Here's my card. You know, those types of things can go a long ways. There are other companies that I was having this issue with as well, where I'm standing around like 15, 20 minutes. These are other videos that I could have been doing. So that's why I have to leave, and viewers, whenever they ask about some of these companies, I just have to say, sorry, scheduling issues, wasn't able to show those new products. I know you would have bought them, but the companies that I was dealing with, they just weren't able to sort it out with me. There are a couple other YouTubers were able to do reviews with them, but I know a lot of us, and I do mean a lot of the larger channels that are bigger than me, had issues. There's something moving over there. And it's frozen. I wasn't expecting a snake-like sound from over there. It was a bird, I guess. But there are a lot of YouTubers that were having issues with working with these companies. I think I've talked about that a little too much, but that's a little bit of the behind the scenes types of drama or frustrations that go along with this line of work, I guess. I think this is the main ones that I wish I could have done more stuff with, just because I know that they have the potential of releasing products that are good, but unfortunately y'all just aren't going to be able to see that stuff whenever at SHOT Show if they don't prioritize their time differently. Let's see what else I should talk about. Okay, so now that I mentioned a little bit about the companies that I wish I could have spent a little bit more time with, let me talk about the companies I was really impressed with, their new product lines. Victorinox is one of them. I'm just going to go in alphabetical order, starting with V and working my way down. But Victorinox is a company that you guys are very well acquainted with, I'm sure. You know, Swiss Army knives, right? There's a lot of our first pocket knife. And they are rolling out a couple new lines or variants, I should say, of their popular Swiss Army knives. Specifically, this is US only market that are going to see this. Plus, I don't think the appeal is too big outside the US anyways, but it's the US National Park Service and also wounded warriors that support the United States troops. So all these types of purchasing these types of variants not only are collectible and you know, beautiful to look at, etc., and they're going to be useful tools, but they part of those proceeds are going to go off to these really good causes. So if you guys are like me and you do enjoy the great outdoors, whether that be in the US or abroad, I'm a real big supporter in preserving nature. And that's why I'm out here, just trying to get a break from the computer. Here I am outside, still looking at a screen, but at least I get the fresh air and the feeling of being alive. Anyways, that's enough about the National Park Service variant, but they also got the Wounded Warrior variant, and as someone who's active duty, I'm a big supporter and that cause. I know there was some controversy in the past, but they've handled that, and now more than ever they're dedicated on making sure that warriors, wounded warriors, are being helped both physically and emotionally, and I'm still a big supporter of them. So they got those things coming out and a couple other new products. So you guys are just gonna have to stay tuned to my video on that. I had some audio issues, so I'm gonna re-edit it and get it back up. If you guys check out my playlist that I've done, I left it in the playlist, but I was getting some comments about the audio not being that great, so I did make a new video on it, and it's just gonna be real short, to the point overview because of the audio issues. So stay tuned for that. Leatherman, speaking of multi-tools, is another company to be on the lookout for. They came out with a new juice variant, which I'm like, okay, cool. Not super excited about it. I'm not a huge juice fan, but if you like their juice variant, you know, go ahead and get it, their juice model. But they also released a new Skeletool, which is more of the skeleton and less of the tools, but that's genius still, because it's just a blade and a bottle opener on the back of it, on the back of the handle where the pocket clip mounts. I'm really excited about that. First off, 25 bucks. Second off, it's like 1 point something ounces. That's, I don't know if that's going to be a game changer, and it's got a bottle opener. I mentioned that. I don't know if that's going to be a game changer for some people, but I might be carrying that a lot, especially as I go to social events and things where there's drinking, and people know that I carry something on me that has a bottle opener. So, although I don't drink myself, I think that's genius, and the bottle opener isn't like annoying, right? It doesn't stick out. It's actually integrated into the handle really well. Speaking of Skeletools, which is designed by Glenn Klecker, or he had a hand in that some way. Let's talk about the Klecker knives and tools. This was in the top 5 new new products that was released at SHOT Show, and in fact it missed the #1 spot by 1 vote. So I'm sorry I didn't vote for you guys. I didn't know how to vote. But anyways, their new, I don't know the name of the case. I have a video, it's going to roll out pretty soon of it. It's getting too much traffic, I'm going to double back. But if you guys have an iPhone, and I'm sure they'll come out with Android variants here shortly, and if you like having tools on your person, this is going to be a great thing for you guys. In addition to being able to integrate these small little tools into the phone case, you can also integrate these tools into other things like the Key Smart, and I know a lot of you guys like that, as well as just there's just a bunch of different ways of incorporating like these mini tools that serve a purpose that just don't take up a lot of space. Keychain, I'm sure you can include it in there. So I'm really looking forward to seeing how all that plays out, and I think they're going to do quite well. I think their company is going to continue to take off like it has been. They have ingenious designs. Speaking of more ingenious designs, I'll talk about flashlights and gear in a little bit, but another knife company is Steel Will. And Steel Will, their ergonomics, first off, is, especially for these new models, because I haven't held too many in my hand until recently, but their ergos are amazing. Very comfortable in hand. Their pricing is extremely affordable, and honestly I think a lot of their competition is going to be angry because there are some knife companies that they make knives that are cheap and they feel cheap, and that's all I'll say about that. Steel Will they're making stuff that they're making a variant that's going to be value, and then they're going to make one that's more higher end. But the value variants, they just have different, they're just constructed out of different materials. They still have the same design. One of them is called the Cut Jack, and the cut check has something called an ant lock, which is a one-handed, similar to an access lock. You know, you can disengage the lockup mechanism whenever you open it, close it. You can use a thumb stud to open it if you want. It's very smooth, super smooth. Just keep watching my channel. I'm going to be reviewing some of those products for sure. That is going to be one of the new companies that everyone's going to be talking about them. People are going to forget about some companies, and they're going to remember steel will. You heard it here first. In the next 5-10 years, I think some companies are going to wish that they had incorporated better designs into their models. That's all I'll say. So steel will is great. I also like the CRKT rolled out a bunch of new stuff. A lot of it is really good. They work with veterans a lot, so companies that do that always going to be near and dear to my heart. I didn't see a lot of them that stood out to me, but there were a few of them that did. Everyone has different preferences for stuff, and that's companies like CRKT do a good job appealing to people who just have they just have something that they want, and that a certain line of knives that they're just a really big fan of. And also their pricing's affordable as well. They're not like Spyderco Benchmade that seem to kind of be cranking out similar, we'll say, products. CRKT has just a wide variety of stuff. But speaking of Spyderco Benchmade, I'm a big fan of those companies, and I'm definitely going to be buying some of their products. Which one to talk about first? I'll talk about Benchmade. Spyderco's going to take a couple seconds longer, but Benchmade, the new one that I really like coming out from them is something known as the I forget what it's called. New knife. I'll annotate it. I'm sorry, my brain is frozen. But that new knife, and I covered it in one of my list videos. It's very similar to the Griptilian, but it actually has a rubberized grip in addition to just having a very ergonomic, comfortable, feel the hand really well handle, and also the S30V steel on it is going to give that. Is really going to make that a different type of. Here's what I'm trying to say. It's the MSRP is just over $100, and a lot of S30V steel knives are many times that sometimes. So I'm actually surprised, because they make a lot of pocket knives that are more expensive, more high-end, maybe gentleman's carry types of knives. I'm actually surprised that they are trying to hit that, you know, a market that is opening them up to more customers. Anyways, I'm also very happy, because I'm definitely going to be getting one. So Spyderco, there's not too much similarity between the two companies, other than just the fact that they know who their customers are, and they make knives that their customers want to buy. I kind of wish that they changed up their marketing strategy a little bit, but hey, it's working for them. They've carved out kind of a cult following for the customers, and I know they're still going to keep growing. But the Spyderco knives, I met with Eric. The Spyderco FE Efficient is going to be the next great budget-friendly Spyderco knife, in my opinion. And a lot of y'all know that I'm a big fan of their Tenacious line. So this is going to be, I'm going to do a video very shortly about the Efficient, and yes, stay tuned for that. They also have a new, sorry, my glasses are getting fogged up. They also have a new European-friendly knife for my European viewers, and it's slip joint, and I'm going to be doing a video on that pretty soon as well. other knife companies, there's so many good things coming out. SC and Tops are coming out. This is two different companies. Sorry, I'm lumping these companies in the same category, but it's just how I categorize these guys. SC has some really good fixed blade knives coming out. Make sure you check out my video on that. Tops has just a bunch of like really cool designs. This guy who works there, Leo is his name. He just came up with all these really cool ideas about, I'm thinking about making a hatchet. I'm thinking about making a folding knife, a slingshot. I'm thinking about, you know, and so check out my video on that. The audio is kind of grainy whenever I'm speaking, but I don't talk too much in that video. But yeah, really cool. And the Bob folder, Brothers of Bushcraft folder, Fieldcraft, whatever the name is supposed to be, but the Bob folder is what people refer to it as. It's coming out soon. There hasn't been an official release date on it yet, as confirmed by them when I talked to them in person, as well as their Instagram. But it should be out soon, I think, or at least their first 50 of them that they're launching. Other knife companies that I want to talk about, those are the main ones. Mora, they're kind of hitting it. They had a rollout of their fixed blade knives recently, and they were at the show. David Canterbury spoke with me and talked a little bit about the reason behind some of the designs of the Gerberg and Eldris, and I forget the name of the other one, their full tang knife. So, you know, if that interests you, be sure to check those out. I love budget-friendly knives, and maybe I'll do reviews of those as well. But those are some of the many great things that are rolling out when it comes to pocket knives. Okay, so now that I talked a little bit about guns, a little bit about knives and multi-tools, and like I said, I can't cover everything in this video, otherwise it'd be even longer than it is right now. But let's go ahead and talk about flashlights and other gear. Okay, so first off, flashlights. Yeah, first off, you know that I was sponsored by ThruNite. If you didn't hear me earlier, ThruNite does not have a booth at SHOT Show. So sorry for those of you who were looking for the next great ThruNite. ThruNite is an affordable but still durable flashlight manufacturer. But as they come out with stuff, you know, I'll review some of it. I don't know if I'll be able, just depending on how big a release it is. I hope to review more ThruNite flashlights in the coming days, regardless of if they sponsor me to trade shows like they just did. Another flashlight company, so Olight, I mentioned Olight, but when I went by the booth, I think there's just too much foot traffic, and my camera was not going to be able to handle with the audio issues I was having, not going to handle it with the mic setup that I had. I've since learned how to fix that issue for next time, but Olight was just too crowded. But they do have some cool products coming up, and I mentioned that in my top 5 products that I was most excited about at SHOT Show. So be sure to check that out. But one of them is that little 90-degree angle flashlight known as the Nova, and I think that looks interesting, but maybe I'll do a review on that later. Now here's one that I'm excited about, even though I can't use it. I'll explain why in a second. Sorry for the sound of freedom that's going overhead of me. But 4.7's, another flashlight company, and this is the last flashlight company. I would talk about backpacks here in a second. But 4.7's came out with, well, they got two lights. One of them's everyday carry, and I might do a review on that here shortly. But the second one is it mounts on your pistol, right? It's a pistol flashlight. You guys can check out my video on this, and a lot of the things I've talked about you can check out my videos on. But it's only like $100. So if you have a pistol and you want a flashlight for it, just kind of follow 4.7's, just see whenever that I think it launches like in a month or something, soon, right? So I wish I was in the States right now so that I could get one of those. Budget friendly. I don't even want to say budget friendly. It's affordable, right? $100 is still very affordable for flashlights, for guns especially. Because you don't want a crappy one that it's going to fall off or it's going to stop working. The reason I'm so amazed with it, I'm going to turn around here, walk back the other way, away from traffic. The reason I'm so amazed with it is that 4.7s is known for making kind of higher end flashlight models. It's not to say that all of their models are high end, but they're going to take that same quality and precision and apply it to these pistol lights. And I wish I was you guys in the States, if that's where you are right now. Sorry for my European viewers, but that's really cool. Okay, so that's everything about flashlights. Let me go ahead and start talking about gear, right? Some backpack companies to be on the lookout for. 511, VanQuest, Maxpedition, Hazard 4. These guys have all come out with stuff, and Condor. I've done videos on all of them. You guys can check that out. But I should be reviewing most, if not all, of these products as they roll out. I don't want to waste your time with the details on everything, because I could talk about all of these companies. They have great sales reps, great presidents and stuff like that, the ones that I've dealt with. So I don't want to say one is better than the other. I mean, they all have a certain targeted audience. They all have cult followings too. So just kind of stay tuned for those, specifically those 5 backpack companies. There are other backpack companies that are either too expensive, you know, they're like $200 plus backpacks, and there's some that are just too cheap. I'm sorry, but there's not a lot of great backpacks out there that are like 20 bucks for a tactical bag, or a bag that's going to last for a long time, unless you go to thrift shops like myself. I'm having a great time walking around. Hopefully this video isn't too long and boring for y'all, but I just want to do something a little bit different in this video, where it isn't just real fast information being thrown at you. It's a little bit more relaxed, a little bit more, for those of you who are just interested in the behind the scenes stuff. Let me talk about some of the YouTubers that I met at the show. First off, I want to mention I Spy. That's the channel name, but his name is Lewis. He's just a real great guy, and he does a lot of really thorough reviews as well. He does a lot of also sunglasses reviews. He used to work for a sunglass company, Oakley, a real small company. I don't know if you heard of it, but he's very thorough in his reviews. So be sure to check him out. Him and I hung out a lot at the show, and he helped me deal with crowd control. If you guys watched my Surefire video, notice how I didn't mention Surefire in my flashlights that I was really excited about. Maybe I just wasn't paying attention, because I had this crowd of people that, while I was filming, both myself and Lewis were trying to get these guys out of the way as we were filming, and they wouldn't move because they wanted to take a picture with a dog or talk to a girl or something like that. I wasn't really paying attention, but they wouldn't move, and I even was sort of moving them with my, I didn't like hit them with my elbow or anything, but sort of, you know, just using my body to move. This guy was just not wanting to move. This is after Lewis tried to do it too, and then I just kind of like, you know, just pretend like I was panning, and I just sort of like panned right into him, and then I guess my foot kind of kicked his shoe as well, and he was just sort of like, off camera I could see this out of my peripheral, but he's like looking down and like looking at me, sort of like, did you just kick my nice hiking boot? You know. Speaking of which, probably shouldn't say this, but I wore my tennis shoes to the show, and I sure hope I don't get contra. Nothing against people who, I kind of describe this as dress up tactical, but it's no offense to people who maybe maybe you only have certain boots and that's where you go everywhere with, because you're comfortable ones. I have I have Merrell shoes, right now. I didn't think I'd show my shoes, otherwise I would have maybe I would have dressed up tactical and not wore a sweatpants. But hey, I dress for the environment I'm going to be in. For SHOT Show, I wear tennis shoes because it's comfortable. I don't understand why people, maybe it's because I'm in the military and I don't have to act like I'm in the military, but I don't understand people just kind of like dressing up and, you know, wearing extra tactical stuff on top of tactical stuff. You know, I just wear whatever whatever works, you know. I'm in Europe, I'm trying to look less tactical. The gray man concept still applies very much over here, so maybe I'm just used to not, I don't know. Let me know what you guys think in the comment section. Am I being too harsh? I'm sorry if I offend anybody, but I'm not attacking you. I'm just, why wouldn't more people just wear comfortable shoes? Why do you have to wear, anyways. I think you guys got the gist of my point there, right? There's a difference between dressing and being prepared for the environment that you're in and dressing to be tactical, and that's kind of the point that I'm making, for no reason other than just something that crossed my mind. Like, this is sort of the behind the scenes part of the video. Other cool YouTubers that I met include, but not limited to, the late Boy Scout, just an awesome, strong Christian guy. And I mean, all of these guys are just awesome dudes. And Shane is the guy who runs the channel. He's made a lot of good videos, and it's actually shaped some of my content so that I don't copy what he's doing. I actually pay attention to what videos he's making out of respect, so that I'm not uploading the same videos as him. I don't do that with all YouTubers. Sometimes YouTubers emulate me. Sometimes I see what they did and I'm like, that's interesting. I'm not going to do the exact same video, but I'm not going to intentionally avoid it. But like Boy Scout, I try to avoid some of the content he makes because he's got a lot of subs, and I don't want people who are subbed to both of our channels to just kind of see the same videos. You know what I mean? Plus, like, you know, I want my stuff to be very unique, and I'm pretty anti YouTubers who copy, and I'm not gonna say too much so I'll get in trouble, but I'm kind of anti people who just are clone channels, and I know a lot of us, especially the ones I hung out with, aren't like that. Other ones that I really like is so David from Ultimate Survival Tips. We got Ben from Living Survival. We have Brian from Survival on Purpose, and I even met Marshall from Going Gear, and I want to say there's some more, but I'm going to be doing videos and releasing them in the very near future. I'm doing little 5-question interviews. This place is beautiful, isn't it? 5-question interviews on, you know, why they started, what's a little bit of background about the person, because unless you're like myself, and even in every video I don't mention all of my training experience, but I try to work that into videos in some way for maybe the purpose of credibility, or the purpose of, like, this is the type of content I make, you know, to kind of subscribe for more information. But all these guys are really rock solid human beings. Oh, Aaron from Getting Tactical, this is his first year at the show. A couple of these guys are full-time pastors. Aaron and, oh, this next one I forgot to mention, Tim from Everyday Tactical Vids. Both of them are full-time pastors. Isn't that interesting? Here's a little bit of, I just think it looks cool. You guys can see that. Doesn't it look cool? You just kind of like walk through there. Maybe I'll go ahead and walk through there now. Life is short, you know. But these YouTubers are they're just great guys, and I know I've mentioned things in the past where I've caused drama for some of my previous videos, but you know, sometimes there's just growing pains when it comes to making a channel, and I'm just very thankful that we have such good people in the gear reviewing community. And even although I don't cover a lot of gun stuff, there are a lot of great guys in the gun community, and I just think it comes from having strong morals and just wanting to make sure that you're being honest. And I think the reason why some of these bigger YouTubers are the size that they are is because they are thorough, they're honest, and they're trustworthy. And I'm just really happy. I just had a great time hanging out with them. Oops, slipping. I just had a great time hanging out with them, and one of the ways that I kind of showed my appreciation for everything that they've done for me is by making that video, that series that I'm going to be launching in the coming weeks. I'm trying to think of other events that happened at SHOT Show. Sorry if I kind of made this video longer than it had to be, but if you guys are curious of that kind of stuff, if you guys want to meet me, I might be at the Blade Show that's coming up in June, I believe, military schedule permitting. But while I was at the show, there were many companies that, I'll talk about this for a second. There were many companies that, man, look how beautiful this is. I'm in the middle of the woods now. There are companies that, you know, they said, hey, if you want us to sponsor you to a different event or whatnot, you know, let us know. And the thing I want to talk about is my appreciation for you guys watching my videos and helping me get to the point where companies, with a few exceptions that I had scheduling issues with, but companies are really wanting to work with me, and they're wanting to sponsor me for things. They want to send me products to review so that you guys can see them. That's the cool thing about being subscribed to a big YouTube channel, or being a big YouTube channel, is you get to see more that wasn't maybe available to other people. And the cool thing about being subscribed to a small YouTube channel or an up and coming one is because they're a little bit more honest and less polished. And that's kind of one of the things that I want to go, one of the directions I want to go for my channel. So I want to do videos like this where I'm a little less refined, but still do the videos that people just want to have information and just real short amount of time. So if you guys like that, let me know in the comment section down below. If you guys have been watching to this point, you should leave a comment so that I know that you've reached the point. Just say the point of no return or something. Somehow work that into your video, into your comment, because if you've watched me to this length, you're just going to keep watching me to the end. So I think that'd be cool, and I'll appreciate those of y'all who have watched me this whole video. But the last point that I'll make, and I'll leave it at this, is that because of my growth rate and because of you guys, my channel has grown from the first year that I did SHOT Show, where I was at 20,000 subscribers. The second year, which was last year I was at SHOT Show, I was at 60,000 subscribers. And then this year, I'm a little over 100,000 subscribers. And each year I was able to experience what it's like to be a small channel, a mid-sized channel, and then what's considered to be a large channel. And you get a silver play button from YouTube and all that kind of stuff once you reach the level that I'm at right now. And if it wasn't for you guys, I would not have been able to get to this point. I want to say thank you. I'm going to be doing a giveaway very shortly, so stay tuned for that. These companies, they're kind of recovering from SHOT Show that I want to work with, so it's sort of like I can't really. I'm just kind of holding off doing the video until I get more companies involved in them. But I just wanted to say thank you. I just want to let you guys know that the content that I'm going to review is going to be honest, and the companies that, first off, that make good products, first and foremost, because it's not always about the people behind the product. Sometimes you just want a good product, right? But also knowing that story, knowing the people are genuine good people, knowing that your money isn't going to some jerk, right, who's running the company. Me getting to learn information about these companies, learn who I'm dealing with, learn the integrity of that company, because it's not just the products. Sometimes you can tell the integrity of the company from the employees and stuff, and this is not to slam any company, but I have been working with companies over these 3.5 years that I've been doing this that have treated me with respect when I was a small channel, medium-sized channel, and a large-sized channel. And there's going to be miscommunications along the way, and I understand and I appreciate how business works. I've seen Shark Tank a lot. I don't know a lot about business, but I understand, you know, the size I am and the size other people are, other big fishes are. But I really appreciate it when companies prioritize everybody, including those of us who are small, medium, and big size channels. Anyways, my battery's dying, but I think it's a perfect time to kind of wrap up and say thanks once again, and also thank you to my sponsor ThruNite. And I am considering going to Blade Show, and maybe one of these times I'll go to the NRA show. For those of you who've been to these types of shows, please let me know in the comment section down below what type of things that you guys would like me to see cover, especially as it's easier to acquire sponsorships. So all I need is, you know, plane ticket and a place to stay, and then I'm there, you know. So it's a little bit easier now that I have a larger audience. And like I said, I'm going to be doing a giveaway to show my appreciation for everything you guys do, and expect more content in the coming days, including a couple more from SHOT Show. Hopefully not too much for those of you guys who are getting a little annoyed by it. Anyways, thank you all again. Y'all stay safe out there, and remember, it pays to be prepared. God bless. Taking a nice little walk through the woods, kind of refresh. I'm out in the woods again, finally, and still recovering from jet lag. Ugh. My brain's a little frozen. Let's talk about SHOT Show. Hey YouTube, it's Budget Bugout. My mouth is numb. Why did I film this intro at the end of the video?